Hello and welcome to Toronto's Union Station. Today we're taking a quick ride out to Oshawa with Via Rail on board one of their Bud coaches from the 1950s. The current station is the third Union station to serve downtown Toronto. Opened in 1927, the station was operated by the Toronto Terminals Railway, a joint venture between the Canadian Pacific and Grand Trunk Railways. In 2000, the station building was sold to the City of Toronto, while the train shed and rail corridor were sold to GO Transit. Union Station is Canada's busiest and North America's second busiest railway station with over 72 million passengers each year. The station serves as a major terminus for Via Rail and GO Transit, plus Amtrak's Maple Leaf to New York and the Union Pearson Express to Toronto Pearson International Airport. Making our way through the front doors, we find ourselves in Union Station's Great Hall. The 250-foot-long Great Hall is by far the most beautiful feature of Union Station. Along the entrance wall hang the flags of Canada and her provinces, the columns in the center of the wall opposite marking the grand entrance to the Via Concourse. Running around the hall are the names of Canadian destinations served by the Canadian Pacific and Grand Trunk Railways, many of which are still served by Via today. Toronto's Union Station is made up of three concourses: Bay, York, and Via. The Bay and York concourses are located on the east and west ends of the station respectively and serve the local GO Transit commuter lines. In the center of the Great Hall is the entrance to the Via Rail concourse. The concourse entrance is marked by two massive columns, the grand entrance welcoming passengers on board. Beneath the main station is the almost brand new Union Market. Opened on May 9th of 2023, Union Market brings together a wide variety of food retailers to create a culinary shopping experience unlike any other in the heart of Toronto. Returning to the Great Hall, we scan the departure board for Train 52, our ride to Oshawa. Everything looks set for an on-time departure, with boarding beginning in a few minutes from Gate 16. Making our way down the ramp, we enter the significantly less glorious Via Rail concourse. Conveniently, Via puts out signs for each departing train with its associated gate number, so it's easy to figure out where to go. Despite boarding beginning 30 minutes before departure, passengers weren't actually allowed to board until 10 minutes before departure. This left everyone just standing in line for 20 minutes for no reason whatsoever. Ascending the escalator, we reach track level in our train for this morning. Train 52 to Ottawa is made up of 5 Bud HB2 coaches manufactured between 1947 and 1953. Unlike most trains, Via Rail assigns seats to all passengers, regardless of ticket class. Our seat today is in Car 3, the second car on our train. I'm aware that makes no sense whatsoever, but it seemed all too common for business class to be Car 1, while coach was cars 3 and up, regardless of their operating order. Climbing aboard, we find ourselves in a relatively modern coach. As a part of Via Rail's Heritage program, our car was renovated sometime after 2018. The largest part of the renovations are the new leather seats, replacing the older fabric ones, which we'll have a look at a bit later. While we wait for boarding to conclude, let's take a look at our route out to Oshawa. Our ride begins departing east from Union Station, curving through East Toronto and Scarborough. Turning towards the water, the tracks briefly run along the shores of Lake Ontario, heading inland to meet Highway 401 through Rouge Park. Train 52's final segment stays parallel to the highway, passing the GO maintenance facility before arriving at Oshawa. We'll cover a total of 32 miles on our ride today, with a travel time of 36 minutes. Boarding concludes a little after 8:40, and our train pulls out of Toronto, a GO train mirroring our departure with its arrival. We break out into the Canadian sunlight, the business towers extending high into the heavens. Leaving Toronto, we pass GO Transit's Don Yard. The layover facility is one of the largest in GO's network and includes enough track to store 10 trains. We're seated today in seat 14A, a window seat towards the rear of Coach 3. Coach class on Via Rail is operated in a 2+2. Each row offers about 7 inches of legroom, which I have to say is quite generous even for coach. Beneath each seat is a bit of space to store your feet or smaller bags. The seat back pocket is made of a wide netting, which holds the safety information card, trash bag, and the menu for our ride. The tray table is stored in the seat back and folds down after releasing the spring-loaded latch. It's fairly large and includes a cup indent. Above each seat are lights controlled via the switches in the center. Coach class includes armrests on either side of each seat. Beneath the rightmost armrest is the recline lever, which allows each coach seat to recline about 4 inches. At-seat power is provided through 2 outlets located between the seats. Airline-style storage bins are found along both sides of the train, with luggage racks at the far end of our coach for larger bags. If airline-style rows aren't your style, table seating for groups of 4 is located at the ends of each coach. Seating preference can be specified when booking a ticket online, so just indicate you want a table seat and you're likely to get it. Via Rail does not provide a cafe car on the vast majority of their services. Instead, snacks and drinks are offered from a cart service, the menu for which is found in the seat back pocket. On offer are a selection of snacks and drinks, alcoholic beverages, and a few light meals, the prices for which are all fairly reasonable. The HP2 coaches are some of the oldest currently operating rolling stock in North America. First built by the Budd Company between 1947 and 1953, these coaches saw service with many American railroads, though eventually they were transferred to Amtrak in 1971. The cars were purchased from Amtrak between 1989 and 1993 to replace the first generation of stainless steel Budd HP1 coaches inherited from Canadian National. The cars were rebuilt by AMF shortly after they were acquired. The naming HP1 and 2 refers to these cars' ability to receive head-end power. What's particularly interesting is it's not just the name that reflects this, but the livery as well. Each HP2 coach is painted with either a blue or yellow stripe, or both. The blue stripe indicates the car has the necessary electrical connections, and the yellow the necessary drive connections needed to connect a locomotive to the consist. If you're enjoying our ride on Via Rail's oldest coaches, why not hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members. Y'all are amazing and I cannot thank you enough for your incredible support. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. Another major portion of the 2018 interior overhauls were the bathroom renovations. This bathroom is an accessible facility, and although it's not super spacious, there are still plenty of grab handles around to aid passengers with disabilities. It also looks great for an inner-city bathroom. The white walls and bright lights make the bathroom appear larger than it actually is. The touchless sink works well enough with plenty of soap and paper towels. 2 120-volt outlets are found next to the mirror. The toilet paper is well stocked, and Via Rail has added a hand sanitizer dispenser if the sink isn't your style. It's honestly a very nice bathroom for such an old coach. Returning to our seat, our train pulls to a stop at Guildwood, the only intermediate station on today's ride. Guildwood also serves GO Transit's Lakeshore East line, the trains running on the same tracks until just before Pickering GO Station. They then break off to run parallel to the Via line until the line's terminus at Oshawa. At the front of our coach are the galley and luggage racks. Though each coach could handle most food operations, the galley in ours has been pretty much stripped clean of its equipment. The luggage racks are opposite and beside the galley. Each shelf includes a mesh net to prevent bags from falling out while in transit. We pick up speed as the tracks run along Lake Ontario. The weather is absolutely perfect today, the high sun reflecting off the calm waters of the Great Lake. Passing through the very much not accessible doors, we find ourselves in one of Via's non-refurbished bud coaches. The seats are still laid out in a 2+2, but are instead made of a combination of red fabric and leather, both of which are quite tired. Seating in the non-refurbished coaches is fairly similar to our assigned coach. There's the same 7 inches of legroom and space to stretch out beneath the next row. The seat back pocket is longer than the refurbished models and features a tighter mesh. At-seat power is provided through 2 outlets on the wall. Seat adjustments are made using the lever built into each armrest. Pulling up releases the latch, allowing the bottom and back to slide forward. The biggest seat difference, at least layout-wise, are the tray tables. Instead of folding down from the seat, each tray table is built into the armrest. In order to fit in the armrest, the table had to be shaved down considerably, making it difficult to work or dine in these non-refurbished coaches. Our ride flies by, and as we return to our seat, Train 52 pulls into Oshawa. I was hoping to get a look at our locomotive up front, but what I actually found on the front of our train was yet another train. It turns out that Train 52 is actually operated as both 52 and 62 as far as Kingston. In Kingston, the trains split apart, with 52 heading to Ottawa while 62 continues to Montreal. I'm used to seeing trains that split to head towards separate destinations, but what's strange about how Via does it is that instead of it being one train with a lead locomotive, they choose to literally couple 2 trains together with a locomotive in the center. While we wait for the trains to finish up their stop here, we get a good first look at Via Rail's LRC Coaches. These shorter, streamlined coaches are the other major workhorse of Via's corridor fleet and are what remains of the Bombardier LRC tilting trains. Train 52 completes its stop, and F40PH locomotive 6432 and 6414 haul our train out of Oshawa and on up the corridor. We've actually arrived here at the perfect time, as the westbound signal shows green ahead. Pulling in a few minutes later is Train 41, operated by P42DC number 916, with 4 LRC coaches in tow. The P42 is the other main locomotive operated by Via Rail. Though with only 21 in service compared to the 52 F40s, it's hard to say it's a main locomotive. The last passengers embark and Train 41 rolls on towards Toronto, the engineer giving us a couple horn blasts on their way out. Oshawa Station may be small, but it did recently get a major overhaul. As a part of the 2017 remodel, the station received this new combination waiting area and walkway over to the Via Island platform. From up here, we get a great view of the tracks heading southwest towards Toronto, the Canadian National Oshawa Yard on the left, and the terminating GO platforms on the right. GO Transit will be our ride back to Toronto in a future video, but for now, it's time to bring today's video to a close. Next week, we'll be taking an international Amtrak ride on the Maple Leaf from New York City to Toronto. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon or become a channel member. If you too want your name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos, then click the links in the top right or in the description below to learn more. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.